Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us this afternoon for our online Master of Science in Finance information session. We're super excited to have you. I'm sure that you guys have lots of questions and we've got lots of information for you. So we'll go through a whole bunch of different things regarding the finance program and hopefully be able to get all of your questions answered today. Just some general housekeeping items, just in case you're having any sort of trouble using the link provided for the info session, please feel free to always remember that you can also dial in. We've got our dial-in information over here on the right-hand side, so you can still listen and follow along. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Carissa Johnson. I'll be moderating this session today. I currently oversee basically the whole UOnline department as the director of enrollment, advising, and student support. I've been working with one of our featured guests, who I know you're very, very excited to hear today, Dr. Michael First, who happens to also be the program director. So we've definitely been working, very closely on this program for quite some time, and it's definitely an excellent, excellent program. Hopefully you guys have lots of great questions and we can get them all answered for you today. As again, just kind of a brief intro of what we'll be doing today. The session is going to be about 60 minutes, depending on how many questions and answers that we have for you. The session is also being recorded, so please feel free to review the session again later on if you do have additional questions or need to review that information. Definitely don't want to make it a talking head and have you guys just listening to us the whole time. So please, please, please ask questions using that Q&A feature you see at the bottom of your screen throughout the whole session. I know that you guys have lots of questions, and that's really what we're here for, is to make sure that we get them all answered for you today. Afterwards, if you still have additional concerns or questions or things like that, we have a full great group of enrollment advisors here to really help you with all of that information at any point, either through chat or through being able to give them a call. The number is 800-411-2290. We're pretty much in the office all the time just for you guys, so please feel free to reach out and let us know what you need, and we can definitely get you all sorted. All right, so some of the things that we'll be discussing today, we're going to do a really nice overview of the program, some of the different ways that you can get into the program, some different certificate options, really exciting, depending on what your goals are and what you're currently doing. We'll also, of course, what you're probably here for is to see and listen to our amazing panel that we have today. We've got a couple of great graduates that we have from our UOnline program. They've been through it. They've struggled. They've done well. They've done all the things. So we'll get them answering what their experience was like, as well as hear from our program director, Dr. Michael First. Again, answering all of your guys' questions, hopefully, along the way. And if you have more, we can definitely get those answered for you later on. Also, most important, or more important, we definitely want to be able to get you your, how you will receive your $300 deposit waiver for your application. We'll get along to what that process is going to be and how you can qualify for it towards the end of the session. So first things first, we're going to give you a pop quiz. You're interested in school, we're going to get you ready. Just kidding. This is really a poll. We really want to see what your guys' concerns are, in terms of our particular program. So we get a lot of questions from students that have, concerns about cost. They're concerned about the career field. They may be concerned about now with all of the changes that are going on within the world, right? A lot of people are working from home, and so how do I balance my new work-life balance? So definitely, let us know. Thank you all for participating in this poll. It really gives us a great idea of what the main concerns are. So definitely see that you guys are interested in, and a little bit concerned about the cost of the program. I see some other answers in regards to the balance, right? And how does an online student balance that work and life you know, being able to go to school, as well as have a job, have a family, have a life. We all want one of those too, and definitely be able to get you into the program. How can we, you know, how long is it going to take to get out of it, and then kind of move forward. So thank you all for participating. As we go through a quick overview of the Master of Science in Finance program, it's really super flexible, right? It's kind of a very quick way to get in and to get out. You can essentially earn your master's degree in just about 16 months, just basically a little bit over a year. There's only 8 courses, which are awesome. It's a lockstep program. So essentially what you're learning in the first course, you're going to be able to use that fundamental knowledge. You're going to be able to bring it all the way through the program. Total of 32 credits. One of the amazing things about this program is that there are embedded certificates. So essentially, if you start in the master's program and you graduate with the master's program, you're also graduating with a certificate in corporate finance, as well as a certificate in financial decision making. So kind of a couple little add-ons makes it really nice. You know, get that on your resume, get that on LinkedIn. You know, you can, and you'll end up finishing those certificates along the way. So as soon as you're done with the certificate, you know, you're essentially able to get that new credential, even while you're finishing the master's program, onto that resume or, you know, those documents, so you can start looking for a new job. Go to your boss and say, hey, guess what? You know, now it's time for, you know, for that promotion. We also have starts 3 times a year. Our upcoming start is September 7th. The start right after that is going to be January 11th. There's plenty of time for the September 7th start. So, you know, now is an excellent time to kind of think about, if you're thinking about getting into school, there's really no better time than right now. One of the things that you will find in our program is that it is incredibly flexible in terms of there's no set class times. You don't have to worry about, you know, finding a time during the middle of your workday and having to go to an hour or 2 hour long lecture class, maybe like you would on campus. You don't have to drive anywhere. You can do it all in your bunny slippers. The best part about the program also is that you're only taking 1 course at a time. So it really makes it very beneficial to our students to be able to really focus and get really in depth into 1 class at a time and that content, really mastering the knowledge that they need to be able to take that right into the workforce, whether it's in your existing job or it's in the new job that you want, that you're trying to get to. So you take 2 courses a semester, it makes it a little less scary, right? So in our undergrads, we were taking multiple courses at the same time. Sometimes you had trouble finding, I know I did, trouble finding, do I put all of my time and effort into this class versus this class? So we make it pretty focused so that you can really make sure that you get that information and be able to bring it into essentially the real world, which is where we want you to bring it into. So like I had mentioned, there's a couple of different options. You know, where do you start? Is this the right fit for me? Really based on your background and your goals, you can either start right in the Master of Science in Finance program. So essentially you start right in that first course, you do 8 courses straight through. We also have other options where you can start in one of the certificate programs, such as a certificate in corporate finance or a certificate in financial decision making. The best part about that is that if you choose to do that, it's a little less time. So it's roughly 2 semesters. It's only 4 courses, whichever certificate you decide to do. And, you know, when you're pretty much almost done with those certificates, if you decide that you're ready to make the rest of the commitment to the time frame for the master's degree, we have an option for that as well. If you're someone that, you know, feels pretty confident with, and you're looking for the certificate, you know, credential, we also have an option where you can take those courses and essentially transfer them into the MBA if that's what your career path is leading towards. So in terms of flexibility, it really depends on, again, what is going to be the right fit for you, what is going to be the right fit for where you want to go, where are you currently at, Also, the certificates, both of the certificates are eligible for federal financial aid. So just in case, you don't have that option of having an employer pay maybe, or having, the funds to be able to pay cash all at once, there's definitely those types of options. The certificate options are also an excellent way for students that maybe don't have a really strong finance background. We have a variety of students that come into the program, and they're coming with backgrounds in, the arts. They're coming with backgrounds in business, in finance, in accounting. So pretty heavily quantitative undergrads versus not so heavy quantitative undergrads. So if you're, what we do is we also provide a lot of support for you, and a lot of a fair amount of preparation to really ensure that you'll do well in the program. One of the things that we're, always looking for is like, how did you do in your math classes, right? So if you're coming from one of those non-quantitative types of backgrounds, that may be something that you want to think about is, brushing up a little bit on your math, your college algebra, everybody's favorite course while they were doing their undergrad. So we definitely have options for all sorts of different backgrounds, different types of students. And in terms of some of the other things that will help you prepare, if you're a student that's not coming from a strong financial type of background, one of the first courses you're going to take is probably, in my opinion, probably one of the best. Currently, the faculty that teaches it, he is just amazing. He is, super hands-on. He gives you that extra time, that one-on-one experience if you need it. He has an excellent way that he has set up his course with a lot of additional help for some of the projects that you'll be doing, some of the formulas that you'll be using or learning. Although this is not what this program is all about. You're not just going to be plugging numbers into formulas. You're going to be figuring out how to analyze those numbers and what do I do with these numbers. Anybody can plug numbers and formulas and things like that. So you're going to really be learning, what is finance? How can I help this small business down the street? How can I help my huge corporation make sure that we're making smart decisions with, where we want to be in 10 years and where we currently are, investments, all sorts of things like that. So you can see kind of just based on the coursework, you'll be going into all sorts of concepts such as learning fundamental drivers of firm value. One of our courses, which is FIN 618, which is actually our quantitative finance course, really introduces students to statistics and reviews market microstructure. Sounds super fun. It's actually the second course in the sequence. So our students generally really like that course. It plays a lot off of some of those fundamentals that you'll learn in one of your first courses. And also, some of these courses overlap with our MBA program. So in terms of networking and student support, along with excellent faculty support and excellent, academic support on the advising side, you'll also get the opportunity to kind of work in that cohort type of model where, if you need to take a break, you can definitely take a break from the coursework. That's not a problem. But if you stay right in that course sequence, you may find some MBA courses or MBA students in your courses along with you. Excellent networking opportunity. We're all looking for, how to better ourselves, what is our career path, and who are the people that can help us get there. So in terms of the coursework, lots of exciting projects. Some of it is going to be also a little bit of individual work and a little bit of group work. Let's face it, guys. Nobody really loves working in a group, but it's reality. Everybody has to work in a group in business. So, working with people that you don't know, you have to get to know them, you have to get to learn, their quirks and those types of things. It's very much so like business. So it gives you some of those skills and practice to bring that directly into that real world. This is a nice shot of all of our faculty. All of our faculty are there really for you. You know, this is not a self-led program by any means. The faculty are very hands-on. They've created all of the curriculum. It's very much so aligned with what's important in the real world, what employers are looking for, and really to help you, again, achieve those ultimate career goals. The faculty are all full-time faculty. They also teach on campus as well. So you don't have to worry about getting, adjunct faculty or anything like that. The faculty created the content, they know the content, and when we hear from Dr. First, he's going to be able to give you a lot more insight into even some of his courses, really, and just the passion that they all have for finance and everything that is so exciting about the whole entire finance industry. Some of the other questions that we had in regards to the program is, of course, is this degree really going to get me to where I want to go, right? So there's no difference between our campus program versus our online program. The only difference may be just the timing of when the courses are offered and how long the courses are. So again, the master's degree, start to finish, is roughly 16 months, just a little bit over a year. It is designed, again, also for a working adult, right? So you can take a break if you need to. The courses are short enough that you are able to absorb the content, but they are long enough. Well, they're short enough so that you can get through them pretty quick, but they're long enough so that you're able to absorb the content and really understand what you're learning. Some of the careers that this degree can help you achieve and kind of get you start working towards are going to be things like being a financial advisor, being a financial analyst, commercial banker, money manager, anything that has to do with finance. We also have students that, and again, back to networking within the classes, this is what makes this so exciting. So you've got students that are in the finance industry currently, and they're looking to continue to advance into higher positions. But we also have students that are getting into the finance industry. So along there, within that group work and within these courses, you'll be able to kind of have a really nice mix of, students who are able to, the students that are in the finance industry are able to take those real life situations. And now with everything that's going on in the world, there's a lot of change that's happening. So a lot of those types of really industry-focused situations that can be directly applied to the content of your course and being able to have a discussion around it. Very immediate, really, really interesting information that's learned within those courses, so you can directly take those skills and that knowledge that you're learning right in that class and then bring it to your current company, or be able to translate that into, again, a variety of different career paths. So everybody wants to know, is online learning really a thing? Is it really different than the campus? Am I getting like a different type of, course, or is the faculty different? The answer is no. You're essentially just being able to do it at your kitchen table after the kids go to bed, or whenever you have an opportunity to, log into your class. It could be early morning. It doesn't have to be a specific time zone. One of the benefits of our online program is not only do you get the same opportunities that a campus-based student has in terms of access to really critical resources like the library, career services centers. Something awesome that we have is called the Launchpad. So if you guys have if you guys own a business or you're thinking of creating a business, the Launchpad can definitely help you with ideas and how to implement those ideas into, how do I even start this business? Here's my idea of a product and I want to be able to sell it, or those types of things. So the Launchpad is just, it's an amazing resource that is, you know, the students that get in there really love it. So don't forget about it. Everybody has those ideas. We've all watched Shark Tank, so they can definitely, you know, they're kind of like a mini Shark Tank, I guess, without the investment part. But in terms of, you know, all the rest of it, everybody wants to know, how can I get involved in online in student organizations and, you know, groups and all of the different maybe committees and different, you know, resources and things like that typically when you walk onto campus, that's one of the first things that you try to get involved in. The networking opportunities, again, there's a tremendous amount of opportunity for networking, especially across the programs, which makes it really, really unique. So essentially, you know, you've got the same really outcome-focused content that you're going to be learning in the courses. Excellent faculty interaction. This is, again, you can't be the person sitting in the back of the lecture hall, and with the small class sizes, it's not even going to be a lecture hall. It's going to be like sitting around, you know, your mom's kitchen table, and you guys are all having a conversation about your favorite topic, which is something regarding finance. Maybe it's going to be investments. That's a big one. So everybody also has questions about how can we support our students and what type of support is available for online students. And so now, while you may literally be sitting in your kitchen at your island doing your homework, I promise you that you will not be on an island. You will not feel like you are on an island. Regardless of what state, country, time zone you're in, you'll always have the dedicated support from our academic advising team. Through the admissions process, you'll have the dedicated support of one-on-one advising from our enrollment advisors, who are very knowledgeable about the program, can help you all the way through the admissions process. And then once you're admitted, you have literally a person, think of your academic advisor is standing right next to you, holding your hand all the way through graduation. Guaranteed that we are sitting in the stands while we walk with your parents, while, you know, we watch you walk across the stage at graduation. So in terms of support, there's a lot of it for you. If you have questions about finances or need to figure out, you know, how do I pay, or I'm not sure if I want to use a federal loan, maybe I want to do something else. We have dedicated financial aid advisor that can assist you with those types of questions as well. For our students that didn't necessarily, you know, come in with that maybe business undergrad or finance undergrad, maybe they're coming from a non-quantitative type of undergraduate degree, we have everybody go through an online orientation course, which is excellent. It gives you that back into school mode type of practice, right? So it's kind of like a little mini course, gives you some math practice in there too. So I know that, you know, again, maybe some of you in your current finance role, you're kind of taking some numbers, plugging them into formulas. This is going to help you kind of understand, how did that formula get to be? And, you know, back in the day, if we had to write it all out by hand, you know, really kind of helping you understand, how did we get to that answer? So you're able to analyze it. You're able to, you know, then really help your business make those really good decisions. Some of the other things too that we get questions on, again, all the time, there are no class, you know, no dedicated days or times or anything that you have to meet. It is asynchronous, meaning that all of the content and all of the information is in there in the classroom. You will have weekly sessions that will be office hours. So those will be live typically. They're also recorded. So we know that this is, you know, we know that you guys are working professionals. There's a lot of things going on, and you can't always necessarily make time to sit down and go through those office hours. So they're definitely recorded. You're able to look at them later. You're able to check out the recording, and then still, of course, answer or get any additional questions asked throughout the rest of the week or the days or those types of things. In terms of questions specifically about cost, right? That's one of our biggest questions. How much does it cost and how am I going to pay for it? It is a big investment, but in terms of your return on investment, there's a lot of positions that are available that, you know, are looking specifically for grads. There's a lot of positions that are looking, or there's a lot of companies that are looking to fill different finance roles, and they're looking for key students to kind of come in with, like, you know, some of the key skills. So if you are looking for, you know, potentially a shorter option, start in one of the certificates, grab that credential, get that done, get it on your resume. It's essentially, you know, half of what the Master of Finance program is going to be. In terms of how do we pay for these things, there's a variety of different ways that students choose to pay. And some of those different options would be setting up a monthly payment plan if you plan on being a cash student. If you're in the military, you know, check with your VA officer, see if you have any military benefits that may be able to be applied to the program. I always say, you know, you never know. If you never checked with your employer to see if they have tuition reimbursement or they have any type of tuition assistance, check with them. It doesn't hurt to ask HR. I know that this is a weird time that's going on, and, you know, some companies are doing a pause on certain things, but there's also the availability of utilizing federal financial aid loans. And again, we do have a dedicated financial aid representative that can assist you with questions on, you know, interest rates or, you know, all of the nitty-gritty about those types of things. The best part is that we do have scholarships that are available specifically for different start dates. The next start date that's coming up is September, so we do have a 27% scholarship available to anyone that gets admitted to that start date. One of the things that you can think of as well is, depending on how well you did in your undergrad, or, you know, again, if you are a military student, a alum, there are potentially additional scholarships available to you. So it's an excellent way to, you know, I would recommend filling out your FAFSA as soon as possible. It'll give you an idea of what you're eligible for. And then also contact your enrollment advisor right away. They'll be able to identify if we're able to, you know, see what types of additional scholarships you might be eligible for. In terms of the application, this is not, you know, a 45-minute job application that you have to input all the extra stuff from your resume and all those kind of things. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. There's no application fee. Most of our students don't require a GRE or a GMAT based on, you know, reviewing their resume in official transcripts or unofficial transcripts. In terms of the application, it's very, very simple. You realistically could get it done in probably less than an hour. And most of the documents that are required probably are sitting on your desktop right now. So we just need a copy of your current resume, copy of your unofficial transcripts from the schools that you've attended in the past, a personal statement, which is basically like a one-page document that says, I'm really excited to do this program, and here's how awesome I am. I think if you sit down and you start to write it, it'll come to you a little bit easier than, you know, the dread of having to write a paper. Definitely need to order your official transcripts, again, from the schools that you've attended in the past. And then we also require 2 professional recommendations. So the recommendations, the process is so easy. All you have to do on the application is add your recommender's name and their email address. As soon as you hit enter, an email goes right to your recommenders. So I definitely would make sure that you give them a heads up so it doesn't go to a junk box or to quarantine or something like that. The recommenders can fill out your letter of recommendation all electronically and hit submit. You'll be able to track what documents have been received and what documents you still need right in the application. Super duper easy. The last part is also, you want to make sure that you are filling out the FAFSA. Again, if you have any interest in, you know, potentially applying for a loan, it doesn't cost you anything and it doesn't hurt you in any way. It takes, you know, just a little bit of time to kind of see what you're eligible for. The very last part to that would be for international students. Depending on if you've been in the States or an English-speaking country or anything like that, we may require a TOEFL. Again, the best thing to do is to contact your enrollment advisor to determine exactly what documents you need, and it's super, super fast. So, as I think I mentioned before, we do have an upcoming start. It is September 7th. That deadline is going to be August 17th, so there's so much time, but please don't wait. It's so fast. You know, what you want to do is make sure you get really prepared for class. So waiting till the last second is definitely not recommended, but you still have plenty of time. And the best part about it is that as soon as you complete your application, we get it submitted, and within roughly 48 hours or less, we'll be able to get you an admissions decision. So no sitting around and waiting for 6 weeks while the admissions committee looks at it and things like that, and you're like sitting there biting all your nails off because you're unsure of whether you got in or not. So we let you know right away. And again, your dedicated enrollment advisor is there to help answer any questions or calm you down if needed, you know, throughout the process. All right. So what I would like to do now is have our featured guests, which is why everyone is here and everyone is so excited to hear from them. I'd like our panelists to go ahead and turn their cameras on here while I go ahead and introduce them. So today we have the amazing opportunity to have a great discussion with our program director, Dr. Michael First. He has been super influential in getting this program created from the very inception of when it did get, you know, when it went online. Has a really extensive background in the finance industry and has also published several articles relating to finance. Really awesome. We're very excited to hear from him. We also have a couple of UOnline Master of Finance graduates. So we're very excited that they are here as well. Our first graduate is Annalise Sosa. She's currently the Director of Student Life at Miami-Dade College. And we also have Evan Gerard, Senior Financial Analyst for Warner Media. So we are very excited that you're all here. Thank you so much for joining us today. I would like to start with Dr. First. I'd like to go ahead and really direct the first question to you. Would you mind discussing why the faculty are leaders in the industry for both research and hands-on experience in the field? I think you're muted.
Thank you, Carissa. You've done a wonderful job in the program already. It's going to be hard to keep up with you. The Master of Science in Finance program, whether it's online or on campus, is essentially the same program, the same faculty teach it, which means then that the faculty that are teaching in both programs, including the online one, all have doctorates. They have a substantial amount of research. And the research that they do is very focused on real-world application, on the implementation of new knowledge and practice. So our faculty then can impart on you both the highest quality of education, education that's related to cutting-edge research, and at the same time immensely useful in practice. We have faculty that prior to entering academia have a diverse set of experiences. We've got someone who was worked in the treasury of a major financial institution. We have someone who was with the World Bank. We have someone who was a vice president and director of portfolio management at a major bond firm. We have another faculty member who's involved in risk management and financial services. So they come with a wealth of practical experience, which they then, of course, bring to the classroom. Now, even now, once being members of the faculty, many of us also have direct connection with industry through consulting activities. One professor, for example, is I think chief investment officer for a portfolio firm. Another is involved with modeling and consulting on global asset allocations for another investment firm. Another one regularly consults for the Federal Communications Commission on financial economic analysis. Others are involved in being expert witnesses and economists for forensic matters. Others have been involved in securities litigation in high-profile cases. Several are also CFAs. So there's an incredible amount of past and present industry engagement, coupled with research in itself that's focused on applying it, because the most valuable research is the research that can be useful in practice.
That's great. Thank you so much. I think that what Dr. First is also trying to say is that finance is not boring. It's actually really diverse, right? You can use it in so many different ways. So excellent. Thank you so much. I'd like to direct our next question to Annalise. Would you mind telling us, why did you choose to pursue the Master's in Finance, and what was your experience studying a new field that was very, very different from your undergraduate degree?
Hi, everyone. Yes, absolutely. So I always wanted to go to the University of Miami. It was my dream school. I was currently working at Miami-Dade College, and I wanted to get a promotion and get a better position, but I was working full-time, so I knew I didn't have the time to go back to school where I wasn't offered flexibility. I came from a background in undergrad in microbiology and cell science, so if I could do this, anyone can do this. Like I tell everyone all the time, Investopedia was my best friend. When I would Google the word hedge and I saw that it said fence of bushes or shrubs, I knew that that was not what they were talking about in the class. So there was a big learning curve for me, but it was definitely comforting to see that there was a really good step-by-step process that I could easily follow, and the flexibility and independence within the program.
Thank you so much. So for those of you that had questions about, hey, I have a degree in something else other than math or finance or things like that, Annalise is our living, breathing example of, if you put the time and the effort and the energy into it, you can definitely get there as well. So thank you so much for that, for answering that question. Evan, so would you mind telling us, before enrolling in our UOnline MSF program, I know that you already had an MBA and were working as a financial analyst.
Yep.
Why did you choose to continue your education with the University of Miami with this program?
Yeah, so one thing that I was looking for when I came across University of Miami's MS Finance program was a bit more of a technical challenge in finance. So I had kind of come through a non-technical degree set, I would say, right? I hit my bachelor's, my undergraduate was organizational leadership, so there were 0 quantitative courses, and that's why I moved into the MBA to kind of get a little more exposure into finance and accounting, which I felt was a weak area for me. And then I found that the MBA didn't quite satisfy the technicality of it enough, I suppose. The coursework was more introductory overview, and really just lightly touched on some of those topics. And I wanted to get a lot more deep into financial analysis and quantitative analysis. And I'll tell you that UOnline's program went right for that. And, I wasn't looking for a lot of general education or things like that. I was looking for those hard finance skills and those courses that would deliver that to me. And I would say that UOnline is very focused on that in the MSF. And that's what I liked about it the most. The other thing that attracted me was I was using veterans benefits at my previous universities as well. And I found that UOnline had a great veterans benefits program that actually tops up your GI Bill. So they participate in the yellow ribbon. So I had a little bit extra covered by the university as part of my veterans benefits, which was really great.
Excellent. Thank you. And again, anybody that is, anybody that's listening, if you have my biggest recommendation in terms of VA benefits is to contact your enrollment advisor. Everybody has a little bit kind of different benefits. We want to make sure that, you're getting what you're getting what you deserve. You put the time in, so we'll be able to kind of help get you there. So excellent. Thank you. Dr. First, back to you, round robin here. Can you give us a little bit of insight as to how faculty support the students as they move through the program?
Sure, absolutely. From the very start with the boot camp, that course is currently been renamed Finance 635. You may have known it as BUS 640. The online boot camp is one of the most critical courses, and Carissa, you're absolutely right. Professor Birch basically gets very involved with students to ensure their success from day one. This course serves as, for some, it serves as a refresher. For others, it forms a bridge from a diverse set of prior academic experiences to finance. So essentially, at the end of this boot camp, everyone basically is standing on a level playing field and is ready to take the more advanced courses in the curriculum. And now intimate involvement of the instructor starts right away, but it doesn't go away. The faculty are always available throughout the entire program to interact with them. But it's also flexible. So there may be some students that are just basically that want to really understand something in detail, and they'll want to talk with the professor quite closely, and they have that ability. It could be about the curriculum. I get students that want to know about my view on some economic event. Yeah, of course, they want to know about some particular problem as well in the assigned work problems. Or they might be interested in career management or ideas on how to use their degree. I have one-on-one sessions with students by way of Zoom to actually then really connect with them on a personal level. Also, maybe to help them interpret some data. Maybe it's from work, or they interpret data or for a project in the class, or help to structure their project, and they basically need some extra time, and they would like to talk about their specific questions. And I'm available, and my colleagues are all available to meet that need and provide that sort of instruction, just like you would if you were visiting me in office hours on campus. It's very effective. We're really committed. We're really committed to the success of our students.
Thank you so much. And again, that's just one of the benefits of the flexibility of the program, but also really getting that one-on-one, just like you would be in a campus. Looks like you're on campus right now. I look like I'm in the library right now. So, giving you the flexibility to also be able to have a life. So thank you for elaborating on that. All right. Annalise, I'd like to know, would you mind letting our participants know, how did the faculty and the university resources offer support for you while you were a student in the program?
Yes, so starting with the scholarship that was mentioned earlier, that was an initial bonus point for me. I never thought that that would be an option for me at the graduate level, so it was very attractive. But when it came to the advisor from day one, it felt like a one-on-one experience. Like, I felt like my advisor was mine and only mine. There were constant calls, constant emails to walk me through the process, and I felt like the only student in the program. So it was definitely something very, very intimate and personal. Then, of course, within the program, the faculty were very involved. I needed a little extra help. So whenever I reached out to a faculty member, they were very responsive. I personally went through a very difficult time during the program where my mom was diagnosed with 2 different types of cancers. And actually, Dr. Johnson, you helped me through this process, and Professor First is also very responsive when I expressed my my issue, and you know, so many people came together to just assist with that problem and make sure that I successfully completed the program. So for me, that I needed a little bit more hands-on, more attention, the faculty was definitely there. And misconception about online learning is the fact that you don't have that interaction with your faculty, but this program was anything but.
Great, thank you. And I do remember that. So yeah, I mean, one of the best parts about the way that we have this program structured is that, you know, you do have this amazing group of faculty that is there to help you, but you also have that cheering squad in the stands, you know, if you need the other things. Can't find something in the library, or, you know, where do I go if I need help if I'm getting some sort of error message when I'm trying to upload my assignment 5 minutes before it's due, or, you know, something like that. So definitely a lot of those resources are there for you outside of the classroom as well. So thank you for elaborating on that, Annalise. All right. Evan, would you mind letting us know a little bit more about, you know, what did you learn in the MSF program, and how did it really support your future career aspiration?
Yeah, so I would say, especially in the area of career aspiration, I was still working full time while I was in the program and doing all of my curriculum at night and all of that. And for me, that actually helped me transition from a place, you know, in a more granular accounting role, moving into the finance arm of the company in FP&A. So I got to actually transition into a senior finance analyst role towards the end of my time in the degree, because of a lot of the skills and ways that we analyze through public companies. And again, I was with a public company at the time, so seeing how a public company interacts with the broader marketplace was really big for me. And some of my goals, you know, outside of FP&A are to move into some of those treasury environments or the investor relation type environments within a public company where, again, I can kind of continue to get deeper into the ways that the company interacts with the greater marketplace, right? And even thinking about the organization all the way up to the CFO is very, you know, involved in how that public company represents itself in the marketplace. And really that's kind of how I've been able to track my career towards that because of the MSF and the skills learned in the program, and be able to speak the language as the rest of finance professionals, you know, in the organization, and instead of really getting into the granulars of accounting and journal entries and things like that, you know, it allowed me to think about the broader scale of how the enterprise interacts with the market.
That's great. Thank you for elaborating on that. Excellent. So, you know, I think that also it's really focused on what is happening in the real world. We know that stuff that's happening in the real world right now is probably pretty crazy versus even, I don't know, 6 months ago. So, you know, how can you take all of the information and knowledge and skills that you're learning in the current program and really immediately be able to translate those and transfer them right into daily life and your daily job? So, so thank you for that. All right, Dr. First.
Yes.
I would like to know, would you mind letting us know, you know, how does this program really prepare students for careers in finance? So we've got, you know, a variety of students coming in, some with maybe a finance background and some with not. So can you help elaborate and let our group know how the program prepares students?
Yeah, sure. The program covers on a deep level most essentially areas of finance. I mean, I emphasize the boot camp to initiate, to basically launch everyone on an equal footing. But once you get into the program, I mean, there is tiered exposure to corporate finance, starting with an intermediate course, going on then to an applied course where you're dealing with mergers and acquisitions, you're dealing with the lease buy decision. I mean, you're really learning how to make major corporate decisions. On the investment side of things, we start with introducing investments, and then from there on, you go into advanced portfolio management, alternative investments beyond the sort of standard stock and bond view as to what you should include in your investment portfolio. We also have a course that deals with market microstructure, as you mentioned at the beginning, Carissa, that deals with the actual trading of securities and the price impact of transactions, how markets trade, how they function, and how trading influences prices. We also have a course that deals with complex derivatives. So you'll learn about financial options, but then you'll go on and learn about other instruments such as swaps, which are, by the way, the largest derivative instrument that in the marketplace. And so you basically get a thorough multi-dimensional exposure to finance that prepares you for a multitude of careers, from looking at startups and venture capital to private equity to working in corporate treasuries to working for fund management to working in wealth management to working in the development of risk management using derivative securities. It's a comprehensive program.
That's great, thank you. And I remember you talking about there's a bunch of projects, right? So again, when I was talking about
the projects,
in the real world, right? One of the projects that you had mentioned was our students that they're looking to, they really work together, right? And they take all the information that they've learned from international finance with a combination of advanced valuation, and then they're able to understand all of that and how the techniques, and essentially work together and evaluate a foreign company. Did I get that correct?
That would be, that's 614, which I co-teach, and it starts off by looking at international finance, starting from what a central bank is, what are exchange rate regimes, how's the foreign exchange market structured, and then links to valuation. And so you're dealing with a corporate valuation, but you're dealing with the valuation of a foreign company. That's one thing, by the way. This is that class, Finance 614. That's not the only one where you see that, where you have the benefit that you actually don't get with the on-campus classes, in that you're able to see the projects are interdisciplinary. So as you mentioned, this one deals with international finance. It deals with valuation. Typically, those courses are taught and not directly related to one another. You have valuation, and you're doing everything for typically a domestic company in dollars, and you have international finance, and that's a whole other world. Whereas this course then melds them together. The same thing shows up in another class that deals with corporate finance and investments, where Finance 613, where you look at the fundamental drivers of company value, and you learn how to use fundamental analysis to select firms based on measurable quantities such as leverage ratios and price to earnings ratios. And then as a second phase, then what you use those selected companies to build a portfolio in the investments part of the course. On campus, actually, you don't typically get corporate finance and value and investments in one class and see how all the pieces fit together. And that's what the projects tend to serve to do, to build a comprehensive interdisciplinary understanding.
That's great. So it sounds like a lot of diversity. You can really take this type of degree and really take it, really anywhere and have a really good understanding of it. Great. So thank you so much. I think we have time for one final question. Annalise, you are the winner of that question. So I know that you had earned your MSF in 2017, and then just about a year later, you actually opened up your own company that creates sustainable products. So how did you take what you learned in the Master of Science in Finance program and really help you become a really successful entrepreneur?
Yes. So my best friend and I, we decided to just address a worldwide issue of single-use plastic, and we opened Wish You Would with a play on words with wood. And essentially we just opened it with the goal to educate not just people, but ourselves in the process. And aside from all of the different skills that you learn in the program, you know, such as how to evaluate your own company, how to create basically a plan for opening this business, but also how to budget yourself, you know, build your portfolio in order to be able to have capital, and just also seeking investors. I think that the most important thing came as a byproduct, which is basically learning to manage your time as an online student, and just balancing all of these different responsibilities at once. So all of those things that you learn being a student in the program were definitely applicable to being an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur. So, you know, as it was mentioned earlier in your presentation, there is incredible flexibility with the fact that the classes don't have a specific time, but that requires a sense of responsibility for you to not let those assignments pile up, and creating some sort of, you know, time management, so that you can go ahead and be able to successfully complete your assignments, especially if you're working in a group.
Great, thank you. And don't we all need a little bit of help with time management? You know, especially now, kids running around in the kitchen, all sorts of stuff is happening that maybe wasn't before. So I would say that, you know, based on other student feedback as well, that is one of the things that will be one of the absolute most foundational things for anybody that's interested in this program is time management. You can definitely do it. The content is amazing. The faculty are amazing, but if you don't put the time into it, you know, you definitely will fall behind. So thank you all on the panel. I really appreciate it. You know, your answers were really very insightful and gave us a lot of additional feedback and information on the program. So thank you so much for joining us. I know that you're all busy, but we definitely appreciate your time.
Glad to help out.
Thank you. And so we have, I know that there were a couple questions that came in, you know, while we were discussing with our panelists. One of those was, when is the deadline for the application for September? So again, thank you all for all of the participants that joined us today. As a reminder, go ahead, and if you're interested in starting for the September or January start dates, your $300 deposit fee will actually automatically be applied to your application. As a reminder, that deadline is August 17th. There is still plenty of time. Please don't wait. We just talked about time management. You can definitely do this. The application doesn't take very long to do. It's pretty simple. If you have more additional questions or you need extra help, remember that we are here for you. Literally from the very second that you start that application, you will be able to, you know, have a one-on-one connection with your enrollment advisor all the way through that application. They can be contacted either through chat, give them a call at 800-411-2290. You can also just go ahead right online and go ahead and just start your application. Their information will automatically be right in the upper hand corner of that application on every single page. So you can't, you know, if you ever need that help, they're literally just a click away. So thank you all for joining us today. Please remember that there will be a quick survey. We would love your feedback. You know, if you do, again, have those questions, want to be contacted, things like that. So please let us know if you have any of those questions, and let us kind of know how we did and if the information helped you make those decisions. Also, don't forget to throw up the U and give us and go and check out our social network here. Connect with our existing students, connect with our alum. There's all sorts of great stuff on there, especially, you know, for networking. So thank you all for joining us. I really appreciate it. I hope that everybody had an insightful and you know, fun time tonight. And thank you again. Have a good rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you for having us.